Welcome to a quick dip featuring whatever that is.
Mark's hair.
You do the thing where you bow, you know?
And Emily. Yeah.
The
But
cap.
the floppy hat drop. Anyways, our the
Blurb
voted
maker.
on top 5 supports of all time. Emily, drumroll.
All right. So in number 5, Lemonation. Number 4,
Lemon.
Biofrost. Number 3, Vulcan. Number 2, Aphromoo. And number 1, CoreJJ.
Ding, 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 ding.
Fun
Thoughts,
fact.
Mark?
Ding, ding, ding. I
This-
gotta say, surprising list a little bit.
This was the closest between 1 and 2 of every position. I can spoil that. There's only 15 points separating Core in first and Afro in second.
And I expect this one to get a ton of reactions when it gets released in the Reddit thread about arguing about number 1.
Yeah.
Because I feel very strongly it should be Aphromoo personally. I don't know if anyone on the desk here disagreed.
I mean, yeah, just because remember, this is the 10-year award for the whole length of the LCS.
Yeah.
This man has been playing the entire time,
12 years of League of Legends.
even
Yeah.
predates the LCS.
Yes.
Yeah.
and has had a huge impact throughout the course of his career. I mean, he is part of the Rush Hour most infamous, most lauded duo ever, on top of even still this split, last
Yeah.
split, getting accolades at the support position. So yeah, I also was surprised when I saw this, and I was like, a lot of people are indexing not even on just recency bias, but like the specific back finals for Team Liquid year. Like that's where this the CoreJJ legend
Well,
really built.
the weird thing is Aller was the support for
the first two.
Yeah, for the first 2. So he's only had the other 2. I'll spoil my own list because I did put Afro first. I think the biggest like accolade I can give Afro is that at one point Jat and I were statistically trying to see if there was like a demonstrable improvement from when Afro joins a like lower tier team or like mid tier team, and how he boosts up like his AD carry and the team to success. Because there were like a few years where Afro would just join a team with like a rookie AD carry like Johnsun, and then suddenly everyone would be talking about that AD carry. Stixxay was a super unpopular pickup for CLG when they let go of double lift, and he and Afro became one of the most lauded bot lanes, went on to go to MSI finals that year. Like Afro is such a valuable player and a valuable teammate.
I
I mean, it's not just with him either. It's like Cody Sun became a star with him. Johnsun has not become a star, but became very good when he came out. Neo had his best split by far when it was Afro supporting him. He has helped elevate so many AD carries game, plus the longevity.
and remember at MSI, so we're talking about international performances where you're representing the LCS, I think should for sure be included. I know that was like a little side debate or
Yeah.
conversation that went on, but international events where you're representing a different region, fine, don't include those. But when he went with CLG and made finals, let me remind you, they not only made finals, he literally set the support meta.
Yeah.
Yep.
He actually set the support meta, and T1 is conforming to the CL. Like
Yep.
that is to me the biggest influence that actually North America ever had on
Meta-wise,
international
yeah.
play. You brought up a really good point previously of the TSM year. I forget which year it was, but when TSM was at Worlds and all the rumors from scrims were coming back, 2016, they were beating so many teams. This also, like the CLG, when they got to finals at MSI, Aphromoo was literally running the meta and everyone was trying to catch up to us.
Yeah.
Like that feeling, I was like, holy crap. So I actually think it's just crazy that Aphromoo is not number 1, especially considering it is a it's 10 years list. Like it's actually kind of mind blowing. I feel like a lot of the votes were lazy.
I also think when we talk about impact, we talked about how like no one's catching him statistically. Afro is in that category where it's just thousands upon thousands of better stats than anyone else in the support position. And so like for me, it's him hands down. The argument for CoreJJ, if I was going to make it for the people who put him number 1, is that he's had the highest peak of any North American support player and maybe any North American player ever. some of that happened when he was winning the world championship or whatnot, but those first couple splits when he joined North America, it was like God came to North America. And in that sense, you could say that he has had some of the best, not just support splits, but splits ever. And I can't disagree with that. I understand like the mountain peak that he has set, but it, you know, started in 2019. As insane as he is individually, he doesn't have like the most accolades even in that time period.
That was crazy.
Vulcan has more accolades in that time period. It's 3 titles, of course, too, you know, so.
Yeah, especially considering, it was only the second 2 of those Team Liquid finals. That's crazy to me.
A fun statistic, just piggybacking off of something Mark said, when I was looking up to like write Aphro's blurb, he has, of all LCS players since 2014, he has the most assists at 4,409. The next closest player is Impact, and he is 1,136 assists behind him.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
It's like jaw dropping. And like again, about the point about these guys are still going, like Aphro's not really slowing down. Like he hasn't joined a top team. A lot of the teams he cycled through since leaving 100 Thieves have not been like talent laden rosters.
I think the only argument is the one that you gave of like the peak split. Because CoreJJ did have the stronger peak split where he actually just dominated the league. And I think that's where a lot of it comes from. It's funny that all of our conversation is around the top 1, 2. What about the rest of the list?
So Emily, you said it was Xpecial, Bio, and then Vulcan, right?
No, it is Core, Aphro, Vulcan in 3rd, Bio 4th, Lemon 5th.
Lemon 5th. Wow, Xpecial with the snub.
See, I think I actually agree with it because I think you're including a lot of Xpecial pre-LCS.
Maybe. I mean, he was a part of them until 2015 summer when he joined Curse. And while I know we were not incredible,
that's where the
we still got first in regular season in summer 2015. We got 3rd place a handful of times, and during that time period Lemon Nation was not like smurfing anymore. C9 fell off in 2015 and had to have that insane gauntlet run where they upset us. Fair enough, but like he actually had a relatively short-lived career. During that time, it's very much the same argument about how all of that C9 roster just redefined what North American League of Legends was. And he did some, I hated scrimming him. He would like abuse vision so hard and you would have no idea if he's roaming or if he's just sitting in lane with a Morgana binding ready to like screw you over. Like I don't dispute the peak at all, but it is that argument that we're talking about like how much you give to founding something versus consistency. It's
tough. I put Lemon in 5th over Xpecial, and a lot of it was because of that like early impact he had. Also, like it sounds so stupid to say this in 2022, but just the idea that he had a notebook and they were planning draft and he was essentially doing the coaching is so like you think about now, and it's so cursed to think that teams weren't prepping drafts. But like
flashbacks for me, I hate it.
It's so like the fact that he forced teams to actually think about stuff like that, I think is really important. It would have happened eventually, but you know, Lemon was the player who was that smart about the game that he like forced you to have to Mark's point, he hated scrimming against him because his understanding of vision and the fact that he actually helped lead the team and essentially coach them.
That was my sole reasoning for it.
That's a good point.
For switching him, because it was this kind of like structural change. Again, I'm looking at these big impacts that players had, like the Aphromoo on an international meta of an international tournament. Like that to me is bigger accolade than a lot of these like, you know, championships and stuff like that. And Lemon Nation changing how players approach the game as well was a pretty big one. Yeah.
I think it's a good debate. Biofrost sneaking in there at 4, I think feels right. He gets slept on a little bit, but like you talk about those years of TSM dominance, like he was there. He was doing that.
I think what nailed that one down for me, and I was like, all right, I feel really good about this, is that when he came back, even on Dig, like he was really good, and people were like, oh my god, everyone is telling me from solo queue, they're like, I was like, what about Bio coming back? And they're like, don't worry about it. It's not looking that good in solo queue. You know, I stomped him the other day or whatever. But then he comes in and he's actually still really good. That for me, I was like, okay, good, I'll submit.
Yeah, I think him coming on to TSM at that time, like people think about it now because that 2016 summer team, as we've already talked about, was like so lauded by people outside of NA. But him coming onto the team was like a very shaky, like, I don't know about this, because they had tried the veteran support coming in with Yellow Star. That did not work at all. The Yellow Star double with bot lane was not a success, even when they did make it to finals. And so a lot of people were ragging on Bio when he first came in, and they were just like, yeah, he's just going to do whatever Doublelift says, and he doesn't have any of his own skill. And I think he definitely proved people wrong in that regard. Yeah.
There was a whole boot camp situation too. I think it was Ignar who was trying out at the time, if I remember correctly. There was a big tryout for Biofrost to earn that spot. So it was a really cool like come up story.
Yeah.
The other thing that's really interesting about this list is all of the top 4 are still active.
Yeah.
So not only are there some sick matchups coming up this weekend, but like in theory, this could be repositioned actively as these splits go on. You know, we talk about Impact being untouchable and, you know, Smithy being temporarily untouchable and some of this stuff, you know, like this feels like a list where things could get jostled around. Like Vulcan could fly up this ranking.
I was going to say, we didn't talk about Vulcan much, but I think that he is the one that on this list is going to do the most climbing. Especially if you snapshot right now and how Team Liquid, how CoreJJ is playing right now, and how Vulcan is on a course right now to pass CoreJJ. And so that I think Aphromoo already, you know, should be right above, but that could be the most movement.
Yeah, Vulcan, what he does with the remainder of his career is really interesting. I also think the coolest thing about Vulcan is we talk so much about players leaving the infrastructure that they came up on. So like obviously Vulcan came up on Clutch technically, who have a lot of the same coaching staff and analysts as EG now, actually, for people that didn't know that. It's
funny. I called EG Clutch last weekend, and then a fan, actually someone who calls into the dive a lot, Sean Atonin, was like, oh, I wonder why they're Clutch, and like had these pictures of all of these current EG employees that were on Clutch, and the list is like 6 or 7 names long, including him.
But I think the most impressive thing is like on C9, and Blabber has talked about this too, where like when you're surrounded by an org that gives you that much support, going to a different team can sometimes be tough. And I think EG obviously has given him the support, right? And he's familiar with the staff, but he was also tasked with helping bring up Danny in a way, because Danny's weakest point was like his laning phase. And obviously you can kind of maybe rip them apart for some of the deaths in lane at MSI or during spring playoffs, but I don't think you can deny that their 2v2 lane has improved a lot. And he's helped in that regard, like so much with this team. And I think that's another really cool thing to look at.
Absolutely. We'll have to see if Vulcan can actually climb up the rankings. Is there anything else you want to say before we call out some of the matchups between these guys? Okay, no. Team Liquid versus FlyQuest. 1 versus 2, baby, on Saturday. Afro versus CoreJJ. Maybe Afro can get revenge for getting surpassed by CoreJJ on the list. We also have EG versus TL, so Vulcan versus Core, about that thing that you were just talking about. Biofrost doesn't have any super hype matchups himself, unfortunately, this weekend against other people on the list, but number 4 still competing as well. Like, it's an insane thing to think about.
Yeah, I think it's super cool because I mean, especially a lot of the conversation right now too. Team Liquid is dipping. CoreJJ is personally dipping right now. So it could be an opportunity for. Because I think we all 3 of us were pretty strong Aphromoo to be first. This could actually be an opportunity for the CoreJJ voters to be like, see, and have them like individually stomp them. And look for 2v2 lane kills and stuff like that.
Oh, the last time someone called out Afro for having like old man hands, he and Johnsun.
Clap, clap.
True. All right, well, that's going to do it for this discussion of the top 5 supports. If you like this little segment, make sure to leave a comment, say you want more for the other ones. Those little weird salute. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you later.
Hello, welcome to the LCS and the LCS waiting room. It's Support Sunday here as we celebrate LCS 10 by tracking all of the different positions and some of the top performers across 10 years of LCS history. We already got a taste of what Kobe, Mark, and Emily think of the top 5 list that was released earlier in the week when it comes to supports here in the LCS. Just as a quick reminder, it goes CoreJJ, Aphromoo, Vulcan, Biofrost, and Lemonation. I know we have tons of thoughts, and we're going to come back to talk about it in just a minute. But before we do, we thought it'd be wise to hear from some of the players themselves on what they think of this top 5 list.
It means I've been playing for quite a long time. I'm happy to have gotten the award and be on the list. I feel like everyone on the list deserves to be there. I would say the list is pretty accurate. Core hasn't been here for very long, but he's made a huge impact since he's been here. I think you could argue for either Aphro to be first or Core. Vulcan has had a lot of success as well, so he deserves to be on there. And then Lemon, I think you could argue for either him or Xpecial. And then I'm happy to just be there.
Thanks for everyone who voted for me. It's an honor for me to get the best support in the ACS history. And I just want to keep it until next year, and next year. We're still competing each other. Like today I played against Aphro, tomorrow I'm gonna play against Vulcan. And it's gonna be really interesting until ACS is done.
I've been here a long time, Still think, I could beat anybody. Always fun playing against them. Only person that I was surprised wasn't on the list, Xpecial. Playing against him back in the day on TSM, he was with Chaos and he did pretty well. I thought he was really good.
I think CoreJJ is amazing. He's really, really good, obviously. But it's kind of criminal that Aphro isn't there because Afro's been in the scene for so long. I thought he'd be number 1, but it makes sense. Those are all top 3 most talented supports and the most long-term supports. So.
Welcome back, and good to hear from each of those players on their thoughts. Criminal! Well, it's interesting because you had Biofrost giving the more balanced, I can see the arguments in going both ways. Aphromoo, CoreJJ, Smoothie leaning a little bit more towards the criminal side of things. But I guess, to me, Jat, it just points to kind of the main talking point when this list came out was between those top 2.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a couple things to touch on, and I can reveal a little bit about the list. So it's a collection of people like Emily and I who are on the list, and then also a lot of former pro players. So the dive conversation, I think, was very accurate for the conversation we've been having because we see the list as a list of total accomplishments. Aphromoo blows everyone away in terms of total assists because he's literally played all of LCS, has great career accolades as well, but it was close between the two. I think some people see it more as a best player list, and Core has been so good in probably 3 of the years he was in LCS. He was arguably the best player in the league.
Right.
So I think 1-2, it's 1A, 1B almost between the two of them. I personally voted for Aphromoo, but the side of CoreJJ, I think, is just playing against him every day. The dominance he showed put him at the top of a lot of people's lists.
Yeah, I think the other thing that I always find super interesting when we ask players, right, either former pros or just pro players right now about MVP stuff, is they always go to who is toughest for them to face. And so, I assume Core is incredibly consistently tough to face. So I also voted Aphro. I am kind of sad we don't have a core defender to take that side, right? Yeah. Because I did want to point out that I do think a lot of times you ask pros, and the reason why I think it's always interesting to get their perspective is due to stuff like matchups and then how difficult it is to face this person in solo queue, in scrims, and then on stage.
Yeah, absolutely. And so in this case, even though I didn't get to vote, I also agree with the idea of Aphromoo being first because it's the constant discussion about dominance versus longevity. And how consistent Aphromoo has been in his career. He has been on CLG in the LCS longer than CoreJJ has just been in the league, right? And so I think oftentimes people forget about that. They forget about the history at the very beginning. Recency means a lot, and for the last couple years, it has been dominance from CoreJJ.
Well, and there's also a conversation, Jad, about what they've accomplished while in this league, right?
Correct.
And that's another piece of separation, right? No one's going to shout you down for pointing out necessarily that Core has won a world championship and made plenty of world appearances, but not all of that was done as a representative of the LCS. And this list is evaluating their time here.
Yeah, one thing that I like to call out is the Xpecial one.
Love that.
Just from that, I love that idea, because for me, that was a tough one. When I was looking at between 4 and 5, I think Lemonation, I was even struggling, should I put Lemonation? Do I think Lemonation is better? Of course, I didn't get the chance to vote, but I was like, do I think Lemonation is better? Because the last kind of feeling that I had from him was like, we talked about, or at least you guys talked about in the dive, of like Aphro setting the meta at MSI and all these things. Lemonation sort of did that as well with Ashe Zyra.
Yeah.
Like that was a combination that was really popularized because Cloud9 pushed that. And so like, and also the coach before coaches on stage, Elimination with his notebook. So those things are something that you always remember of the old days in the LCS.
If this was a top 6 best supports, Xpecial actually is number 6.
Yeah.
The difference between 5 and 6 was literally 1 point.
Yeah, it was razor thin. Razor thin.
So he's there in spirit. It's
It's, and you heard
it's a
Aphromoo
tough
talking
call.
about it as well. Exactly.
I can give you a strong CoreJJ case though.
Okay, please do.
All right.
I mean, so I had the privilege of coaching him for like 14 months. And this was there for one of his MVPs, but also seeing his like day in, day out dominance. So he very rarely, if ever, has an off scrim, right? So the player you see on stage is the player you see in scrims. He's actually just more aggressive and pushing limits more in scrims.
Gotcha.
If he knows how to win a game, he will find a way to get that win. So much so that it's like, oh, you can't put him on Lulu or Soraka or Johnsun. Not because he's not good at those champions, but because he will actually just win you the game if he's on a engaged support when he's at his MVP form. He has an extra MVP over Aphromoo.
Yep.
Aphromoo does have the one, but if we compare those MVPs, the Aphromoo MVP would have been the first split of franchising where going into the last week, there was like a swath of 5 or 6 teams that all could have gotten first.
Right. Yeah.
He had this miraculous weekend. It's a deserving MVP, but it was very close. CoreJJ's MVPs was a split where this team started 14-1.
Yeah.
Nearly looked like they were going to go undefeated, lost the last 3 games of the split because they kind of coasted through the end of the season, still finished first. Next one, he was 15-3. Like, Core completely dominated the league in his periods of dominance.
Yes.
So I definitely understand why he is there.
Yes.
And actually tracking his LCS accomplishments, if you take away total assists, like, he still has 6 first-team All-Pros.
Right.
Right? Way more than Aphromoo. The 2 MVPs is 1 more.
Yes.
He's got multiple championships, so he's still, even just in his short time, has incredible accolades. So I understand it, and I don't think it's a total tragedy.
I think it's perfectly logical, and it's both cases are very arguable. I just real quickly want to mention the fact that Vulcan, Biofrost, we kind of jumped over the 3-4 positions, right? And I thought it was cool that Mark and you guys were talking about the fact that 4 of these 5 players still actively playing in the league. So this list really could live update almost, you know, over the coming splits to see where each of these guys go, but also too for Biofrost to just say, really what this list says to me is it just tells me how long I've been playing the game. It's a valuable argument. Longevity matters when it comes to a list like this, and the fact that a number of these guys have persisted as long as they have has been incredible. But we did mention one of those guys who got a nod and barely missed out on the list in Xpecial, and as we were able to do yesterday with Xsmithy live on air, this time we were able to catch up with Xpecial to see where he's at now.
Be there to stop it all! The rejection! Xpecial wins the game! Throws down the ignite. It looks like the first one can come in. The toss. Oh, he gets slayed out of it again. Xpecial, why are you so good?
After I quit playing, I've been coaching. I've been coaching a lot a little bit in LCS, a little bit in Academy, and more recently, these last 3 years, I've been coaching in Harrisburg. I did a lot in Liga. I played for a very long time, but I wanted to do more than just be a player. I wanted to be somebody who could be more well-rounded, and ultimately, I do want to help grow NA esports. I am very passionate about one thing, and something that I've never lost, is I do want to see an NA team win the World Championships. I think what was most awesome about LCS was the transition over time and how much better it got year after year. I remember the first year when we won in the season 3 spring, we won, we got up. It was like some confetti would come down, the room was dark, the camera wasn't too great, and nowadays it's a lot different. You got much bigger arenas, You got much more fans. It's definitely been a different experience, and I love watching League of Legends grow from the very beginning because I played since season 1. I played before that. I was playing back when we were literally playing in Freak's Basement. So I've loved how much LCS has grown.
It's good to see that face again. While we were watching that video, I turned to Jad and I was like, I'm replaying a couple of very special like turret dive defenses, special on Thresh, and you call it Saint Vicious. Like, oh.
It was 2013. It was in like Spring Split, and it was when LCS still did like road shows in the middle of the splits. So actually at an MLG. And he just totally toyed with the Jarvan. Saint Vicious' Jarvan under turret, like interrupting his flag and drag like 2 or 3 times for kill. It was insane.
Just a total nostalgia trip. So thank you for that, Xpecial. And congrats to him on still very much being there at the top of people's minds when it comes to best supports in the history of the LCS. From supports, though, we're going to move to another accolade, another conversation that needs to be had, and that's around the FTX Most Improved Player. But this time we're going to take a little bit of a different approach. In the past conversations around this, we've been trying to identify maybe some key candidates for it. And while this tweet thread that we're showing, Emily, does suggest Contractz, it's more of a thought experiment on how to evaluate Most Improved than anything that we want to talk about.
Yeah, so I love this conversation between Kelsey and Dom where they were talking about Contractz specifically, but it also kind of gets into like, what do we think of when we think Most Improved, right? And how both of these people evaluate these players from the inside, and then Kelsey's obviously being informed from Contractz' play in scrims while he was on EG last year. And so I thought it was an interesting discussion because whenever we talk about Most Improved, I feel like we throw out a bunch of names. Contractz, first of all, hasn't been on that list before, but then this is a very well-reasoned discussion about like different facets of what we think improvement is. So I just wanted to open the conversation. I thought it was a good thread.
Where do we land on that? I think it's because one of the conversations here is a comparison of peak to now. Right? But peak could have been 6 years ago, right? Versus a year-long award. So that whenever you talk about just pure ability, I feel like it becomes a messier conversation.
It does. And I do think 2 things. First, internal conversations don't really matter. I don't care if someone's been playing well behind the scenes, if they're just insane in scrim environments. If it doesn't show on stage, then you're performing poorly. Like, that's just flatly what it is. So like if there's an uptick in your performance from what is most recent, I think that matters. When it can be difficult is, let's say, if someone we know is at their peak, has a really bad split, then or a year actually, since it's a year-long award. It's like then I would imagine that you would still be in the conversation for Most Improved, but you have to have a solid reasoning of what they improved upon. So with Contractz, I mean, Spring Split was awful, and it's not a team-wide. Yeah, sure, the team was bad, but a lot of his individual play was bad, right? Especially in the first like 3 weeks. And so like, it's very reason to say, though he was good on Evil Geniuses in the Evil Genius system, when the team was already really well experienced later on in the split, and he's strong individually 100%, but like, I would judge his play when he got to have a real start on CLG than I would, the year before that.
Yeah, I mean, I also think peak versus current play is interesting when you consider someone like Someday, who I know you've brought up as someone who you were considering for this year, because like having watched him at peaks in Korea, for example, like we're not counting that, but that's still in my head. Like KT Rolster Arrow Someday, and KT Rolster Someday is always going to be in my head, right? In terms of like what this person is capable of compared to his peers. And the peak performance thing is something that's always really interesting to me in terms of talking about improvement. Because if we're talking about Someday individual improvement from last year, he's like transformed kind of back into that player, if that makes any sense.
That's so interesting. It's like you take a snapshot from a moment in time. But like Someday has been one of the best top laners in the world.
Right, so do you give him the credit for getting back to that? Like, it's tough.
It's like Arnold Schwarzenegger lifts weights for a little while. He's like, and now I'm really strong. He's the most improved strong player. Like, it's just, it feels a little weird to me to give it to someone like Someday because he's had such high peaks before.
That's the difficulty of this conversation, but that's why I appreciate the nuance that that was being reached in this conversation through Twitter, no less. So impressive on that one.
Thank you, Kelsey and Dom, for letting me use you for content.
Alrighty, well, if all of the LCS talk has you eager to compete, FTX is hosting the Nexus Stars tournament this August with hundreds of limited edition in-game items, a gaming gaming PC and a $10,000 in cash up for grabs when it comes to prizes. Open qualifier kicks off on August 27th and 28th, with the finals taking place on September 3rd and 4th. You can learn more at nerdstreet.com and check out FTX US. With that, though, we're going to wrap up Waiting Room. We're going to get ourselves into the show. We got a lot of big games today, but first, let's check in with CLG.
Mr. Sterling is basically our office dog. He is always roaming around, being a little beggar, especially during lunchtime and dinner, but he's very cute.
Sterling is our superstar, the star of our office, the best player on our team. Without him, we're nothing. The players love him, the staff love him. He's really good for morale. All around, just great guy, great atmosphere guy. Really brings a lot to the team.
Welcome back to the LCS. That is an adorable doggo.
Yes.
Why don't we have an LCS arena doggo?
We need
Bring
one.
your dog in.
Where's the LCS analyst doggo?
Get Azula in.
Yeah.
I would love to petition for Azula to become
Let's go.
analyst doggo. All right, I got 3 signatures right here.
Right
We'll
there,
collect
right
more
there.
after this. Let's dive into the matchups today. We have a big one to kick things off. We got a lot of big matchups across the whole day, but we're kicking things off with CLG versus FlyQuest. CLG got the win over Cloud9 to go from a 3-way tie for third to a 2-way tie. If they can take down FlyQuest here, they continue to go on a run. Let's start with predictions just to figure out whether or not any of you think that's what's going to happen. Raz, I'm going to start with you.
Okay.
Because why the heck not?
Of course. Look, I already had the bet. I think it's very clear based on the habanero bet.
This is, okay.
Who I would predict, it's going to be CLG. I also just think that CLG has been playing really well in the past few weeks. And so it's just consistency. They're on a run.
They are.
So let's keep that run going.
They're looking for 5 straight here, Jat. Raz thinks they'll get it. Do you?
Yeah. So I've been looking at the numbers.
Uh-oh.
As you do.
Yep.
I've been doing
And
some
CLG is really good at counter picking stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they're blue side.
Uh-oh.
They win a lot fewer games on blue than on red. I think there's something like 2-5 on blue, and the rest of their wins, 7 of them have come on red side.
Fair.
Pretty stark.
And they're blue side. So I'm going to go with FlyQuest. I think they're close enough that the side selection is going to switch it over.
Okay. It's a draft play, which means you're the tiebreak here, Emily.
I'm tie-breaking with Raz.
Boom!
Oh!
So I get to be the only correct person on the desk?
Time will tell on that one, my friend. What's the reasoning, Emily?
So I basically am looking at CLG's early game and how hyper aggressive it is. We even have a segment coming up where I'm going to chart all of their first bloods. But I think FlyQuest, although they could come back through like late game team fighting, especially with some of these late game comps that they sometimes like to run, like late game 5v5 team fighting comps, I think that CLG should be able to get more advantages early.
In a moment, we're going to let Emily dive into some of those early game advantages, but first we'll talk, Raz, about how CLG took down Cloud9 just yesterday.
This was a great game, and for me, it was mostly just on the compositions. And this kind of goes back to the conversation about like where we play CLG, because I think some of their game losses have been due to their draft, that they would blind something and it would just feel pretty poor. This one, sure, really smart draft from CLG, but also Contractz just had an insane Wukong game.
Yeah, this to me was like, CLG has, they go big or go home in draft a lot of times. I think they've won several games off of draft, especially in week 1. This is a return to that Seraphine comp, even though there were tiny nerfs to Wukong, tiny nerfs to Seraphine.
Yes.
And that just let them come through. And then CLG said, oh, by the way, we get to just destroy you. It didn't look like C9 actually had many things to do in that game.
Exactly.
Wow.
Your sleeve. Your poofy sleeve touched
it. I know. It happened to me at MSI too. It was very cursed.
So we were trying to be so slick and having Emily set up under the video.
I know. I was trying to get all my work done ahead of time, and I couldn't do it. All right.
We need more of it.
Take it away.
Is the LCS average of first blood time, which is 6 minutes and 25 seconds. I'm going to go and mark out all of the games where CLG didn't end up getting a first blood. It was TSM, it was FlyQuest.
Okay, all right. I'm learning.
And then it was, let's see, all the way back
So they get first blood a lot.
They get a lot of first bloods.
This actually reminds me when CLG was having an incredibly bad year.
Well,
but
so hold on.
First Blood Kings.
Yes. This is 14 games, right?
Yeah.
Or roughly?
So they get a lot of first bloods. This is 5 minutes for people that don't know.
Okay.
Almost all of them, so only one, CLG versus C9, week 3, day 1, is going to be above 5 minutes. Right
Seriously?
here. Yeah, right here, they were.
That's their latest first blood.
Yeah, they were 5:57.
Okay.
So, actually, I should circle instead
There we
of.
go.
This is
all right.
this is killing Dash over here.
It is
He
a little
hates
bit.
when we-
That's all right.
better than I would.
I die inside every day on
So
a little bit more.
That's a quote. Get that quote up there.
we got 3:58, so like
Okay.
about 4 minutes.
About this one?
We have 3 minutes. It's 2:57. We have one all the way down here,
Level
which is
one.
a level 1. Yep.
Jesus.
Then we have the highest one. Oh wait, so they are actually two up, one higher. I lied. There's a
above
6.
average.
Yeah, there's a 6:42.
Okay.
Up here. So
Yeah.
that's
Emily
bad.
just lost all credibility.
I know,
but that's
right?
okay.
I just suck at this. And then this one is about 2:56.
Okay, we support this.
Yep.
Okay,
And then 3:55 is here.
That has to be Contractz.
And then we have 1:54 and 1:45 from yesterday.
goodness.
So yeah, it's actually pretty nuts if you chart all of their. So it's kind of like
Draw a
this,
line through those.
This,
we go.
this. We got the peak there, and then we go back down here, and
Scoop
then
under.
There's the
Or
gap.
across. Yeah, I like it. There we go.
There we go. The gap.
so many before 5 minutes. Like they are incredibly aggressive early. It's actually so fun. Like I love this team.
Well, and the reason why I love this is because we talked about how in yesterday's setup, both CLG and Cloud9, two of the teams that are happy to be aggressive. And when those two things meet, of course, it ended up with an early kill going over
Yeah.
the contract.
Yes.
Yep.
And we see what CLG can do with it. And that's the piece, that's the additive piece for me, is that this is a CLG that looks very different than in spring. And with that confidence, Contractz will
Absolutely.
run away with leads.
It's actually really funny that we're doing this today because yesterday it was not only just a level 1, it was the Cloud9 level 1 in Bay.
Right, they went for it.
Yeah.
Yes, and it was CLG saying, no. Get up there, Poome.
Yep.
As he runs topside to just stuff it. So this team has clearly practiced their level 1s, feel very confident, and have an active conversation about it if the enemy team has a stronger level 1. And so those usually come through, it seems, as well as Contractz' early impact on the map.
I'm pretty sure they're the only team that after the game, 5 coaches come on stage. Like they have as many coaches as players on stage after it's over.
That's pretty great. That's pretty great. Well, then this is a lot of the CLG side, and we expect there to be an explosiveness coming out of the CLG camp. Now, I kind of want to talk about how FlyQuest can deal with it. Most of the time when we talk about FlyQuest and their success, we're looking towards Josedeodo, who's stepped up pretty phenomenally throughout the year, as well as toucouille in the way that the two of them work alongside each other.
Yeah, when it works, it works. And FlyQuest look incredibly consistent with strong fundamentals. But the last, I'd say, 3 games, they have been having some lowlights. Blabber popped off on Olaf, Inspired popped off on Wukong, and they lost yesterday to Santorin, having some really good early ganks and unpredictability. So those two, I think, really need to succeed for FlyQuest to get wins.
And it's really crucial for both of these teams because if FlyQuest win, they actually get the head-to-head over CLG. So depending on how things shake up in Super Week, that could be really, really important. And alternatively, it could be really important for CLG to get this win because then they bring it back to 1-1.
Yeah, and patience is crucial because it feels like when I'm watching this team, at least when they're contesting for Rift Herald. First Rift Herald, I really want to be able to see that because last time I was like, oh, Josedeodo's contesting way earlier than his team is there for. And it feels like that was something that we criticized them last split for. Don't want them to fall into that.
And they're so much more important now on this patch.
True.
So we'll have to see. As we head out to the arena, FlyQuest are reflecting on their own history here. Check it out.
I beg to differ. We've got the Scorpion King right here, baby.
Let's do it. You know who I missed from the FlyQuest cinematic universe? The eyeball with the wings on it. When they first joined.
yeah.
You remember that guy?
The OG.
Yeah, that's my favorite FlyQuest character.
Looking for the quest, I think.
They're gonna have to bring him back in FlyQuest Infinity War. But right now, we got a different battle on the menu, my friend. CLG going up against FlyQuest, and CLG looked good yesterday.
Yeehaw!
Yeehaw, partner.
CLG currently on a 4-game win streak, Flowers. This is the longest win streak they've been on since 2019.
Whew.
Massive stuff for them.
The before time.
Yeah. With the name, though, Counterlogic Gaming, now would be the time.
Oh, no.
Let's get right into it, though.
You're the chosen one. You're not supposed to doom them to this.
Let's get right into it, though. They banned away Jax on blue side, which has most commonly been used as a counterpick to the Gwen. And you're always looking at some top lane matchups there when you're looking at CLG. Dhokla, of course, the new big addition to this team, going up against Philip, who was promoted from Academy for FlyQuest there. Top lane matchup should be big. And regardless of Hex Flash being disabled, the Poppy priority has remained supremely high throughout the LCS. Contractz had an amazing game on this champion previously, and they lock it in first pick again.
And even yesterday, Contractz had an amazing game on Wukong, and Wukong's one of those champions that Poppy can do a good job of shutting down, like stopping him from being able to find the engages he wants by being able to block those dashes. Honestly, Poppy's just at the top of the table in the jungle tier list right now, and it ain't changing anytime soon. Over on the other side, though, you want to talk about tops of tier lists? Sivir has been rising and soaring to popularity as an AD carry ever since the changes, so that one's going to be locked in first and foremost for Fly.
Yeah, and as far as the FlyQuest lore goes, Jose always hovers this brand. I'm waiting for the day, because he kept it as a pocket pick for jungle brand for so long in Latin America. I'm waiting for the day that he brings it to the LCS.
Maybe one day.
Burn it all down. But today will not be that day. It's the Trundle, the most common matchup here into Poppy. We go over it every single time, but you can ult the Poppy, you bite the Poppy, steal the AD. You're 1 versus 1.
Ult the Poppy, bite the Poppy, smack the Poppy. There's so many things.
There's three steps to success from Captain Flowers. Ult the Poppy, bite the Poppy, smack the club.
You just gotta trust the process. Over on the other side.
This is what I mentioned though with the Jax ban. You can see it early on in the second ban, Jax ban there. That makes you already start thinking Gwen, and there she is.
Well, we're gonna get Gwen, we're gonna get Azir. So the top half of the map locked in here in the first half of the draft for CLG.
Yeah.
We will need to see their bottom laner. We will need to see their support in the second half. Does FlyQuest want to go for a solo laner here? Or do they want to get their support? Looks like we're going to get that solo lane action. So Fiora versus Gwen in top lane.
I have seen this attempted yesterday. I saw this attempted yesterday, and solo was the Fiora, and
yeah, that didn't work out so hot, huh?
Impact was the Gwen, and Evil Geniuses, to be fair, it was mostly because they correctly timed and ganked the top lane over and over.
5-man game.
And got the Gwen ahead. So we'll see if CLG can give similar attention to this matchup, because Gwen Fiora is definitely a tiltable matchup. Skill-based for sure, heavily influenced by these jungle and support rooms.
All right, second half of the band's rolling in now, though, as FlyQuest looking towards those AD carries.
I like
They're
that
gonna ban out the Misfortune. We got Ahri banned out by CLG. Want to remove that one. We constantly see that as a pick into Azir if you're looking to have a little bit more playmaking, a little bit more early presence compared to the hyper-scaling of the Chicken King.
Yeah.
And what's FlyQuest going to do here? Do they want to target AD carry again? Are they looking to maybe hit another one from the support pool? 3 out of 4 of their bans thus far have been marksmen, so I wouldn't be surprised to see them keep trimming that pool down, and there it is, Lucian banned away.
All right, they're going to deny the Lucian. I was going to say, maybe the Aphelios then rises in priority here for Luger and Poome. We shall see. Aphelios Lulu would definitely round out that 5-on-5 for CLG. They're targeting mid lane protection bans for the Azir, though.
Yep.
One of the reasons Azir is so popular now is you're not really that scared of a lot of these long-range poke counters that really do counter the kit for Azir. We have not seen a Vel'Koz.
No.
We have not seen a Xerath mid.
No.
I have been hoping and wishing and trying to will them into existence as far as mid lane counters, but
you gotta focus up.
I need to draw in a bigger spirit bomb.
This is not working well.
I really hope that one day we do get to see something like that, but until then, this is kind of the halfway there. The long range, the poke. That is the key tenet that you're looking for when you're picking into Azir. Try and poke this champion out. Doesn't have sustain, so Zoe can get there. It's not as abusive or as cool as the Vel'Koz or Xerath, but we'll take it.
She can't fire them straight through the minion waves and just go with the full artillery mode type thing, but she can still hit some big damage from downtown.
Not the Aphelios Lulu.
Twitch Lulu.
Twitch Lulu.
Let's go.
That is insta-lock too.
Yeah.
Twitch is very good into the Sivir, and combined with the Lulu, like we said, this is a massive team fight here from CLG later into the game, especially. Definitely some good scaling here on both sides, but CLG, theirs feels very solid. I would say Philip could be the star of FlyQuest this time around.
Yep.
And leave it to the youngest guy on the roster with the Fiora counterpick there into Gwen to be the possibility of a snowball of the star here. If they could get him fed early on the Fiora, get that split pushing advantage, that would be huge.
So one of the things that's immediately jumping out to me here, Kobe, especially with the Aphromoo Leona locked in as the final pick for FlyQuest, all the engage there, CLG has a lot of good tools if you engage on them, like Azir can throw you back with his ultimate, you've got Lulu for defensive power, you've got Poppy that's able to stop people and sort of break up that engage, but CLG's actual engage potential is very low.
Yep, them being the ones to go for the aggressive play is going to be hard. So when you see a team like that with low engage on their own roster, it means you need to get to the objectives first. You set up there. You can use the vision kind of as your pseudo engage. And then, Gwen flanks, Poppy flanks, and Azir sweeping in. Palafox did have a huge 1v9 Azir game versus Team Liquid, where he was the main initiator, going in with the Azir sweeps. So that is the possibility there, but similar things here for FlyQuest. I mean, they've got Zoe, so if you can get mid priority for FlyQuest, Zoe getting out to the side lanes, roaming around, throwing out these bubbles, looking for picks.
Just going fishing.
That's what they want to do. They want to open up this map. They've got Fiora to try and snowball and split push, and Zoe to pick them off.
You got Trundle to set up too. Trundle and Zoe just fishing around with pillars, with bubbles. You get those slows, you catch somebody out. It's easy to hit the solar flare from the Leona and go for that hard engage. CLG looked good taking down C9 yesterday that they were tied with in the standings. FlyQuest slipping a little bit lower, but they'd love to come back here. Alrighty, and before we get into the action here, Dhokla's got some words on expectations for his team. Let's check it out.
Yeah, I feel like we are good, but at the same time, we've lost in pretty bad fashion as well, especially against EG. So I think that's just we're not a top 2 team, right? So it's but I think we're definitely doing much better than what people expected of us, and I'm still happy about that, and I think we can definitely just get a lot better. So I think we're at a really good spot right now, and looking forward to just keep improving, keep proving people wrong, and I hope they believe us when we're actually a good team.
Not a top 2 team, but you are a top 3 team, my friend, and that is well above where people expected you to be. Jose does see them place the very common Raptor ward.
Yep.
So a lot of the times, the information that you have about the information your opponents are getting is sometimes even more useful. toucouille with the sweeper on Zoe comes in, sweeps it out, and both solo laners got it. So you know what that means. Solo laners can get level 2 off of just the experience of the first wave. It doesn't mean a tremendous amount for the Zoe versus Azir matchup, but it could for the Fiora matchup. Fiora, Philip up there can get level 2 off of the first wave, and Dhokla is going to have to give up priority on that wave. Fiora already at the level 1 has a big advantage because playing Grasp, you can go in for those lunges. Meanwhile, the Gwen level 1, kind of hard to stack up your Conqueror, and gonna have to give that push over to the Fiora.
Right, Conqueror feels better as the game goes on. It's gonna be the better late game rune, but Grasp just has that snappy trading in lane to guarantee you that early control. You can see on your 3-lane view right here, Palafox is going to be the first one to get the wave fully shoved up, have control over that there in mid lane, as Philip's got control top side, and the wave is also being pushed in bottom by FlyQuest.
Yeah, definitely all the early stages here playing out as expected. Philip, as you say, with control, and both junglers pushing away from top lane, so Philip knows, can play aggressively up here, get the wave all the way into the tower here against Dhokla, so Philip should be able to get off his early recall, no problem, and walk right back through to the lane, see what he can do if he can get a nice little purchase off. Meanwhile, they do see Trundle positioning here towards the bottom river, so Palafox should know. Double wards on Jose. Contractz knows as well, so he gets off his red buff, doesn't want to fall victim to the invade.
Yep, just does not want to risk anything there. He knows that his own mid laner is not in any sort of position to come back him up. About 150 HP left, healing up a little bit of that, but Palafox needs to go back. Yes, he has teleport to return to lane, but he does not have lost chapter money. He simply can't do it at 3 minutes into the game, so the back not going to be what he would hope for. Just a Dark Seal in the inventory, refillable potion there to at least have a little bit more sustain once he returns, and he's back into lane. toucouille now resetting, doing the same thing, coming back with a similar buy, Dark Seal, but corrupting potion on the Zoe there. As bottom side, it's Luger and Poome getting the wave shoved back out down here after they got pushed in early.
I do want to point out the small things, the positioning in lane there from Luger and Poome. They know Johnsun activate the W, so there's no reason for them to push up. Trundle was waiting in that brush in the river. Luger does not walk up the wave. He knows it's going to push right back to me. No reason to overextend, so CLG avoid the Trundle possibility of a gank, and that means there's, you know, maybe 10 seconds ahead for Contractz in the jungle. Poppy, level 4, gonna use those 10 seconds to come into lane for a possible counter gank here. I don't think they're gonna be able to force a dive or anything. He's just waiting around for an aggressive move, and there it is, aggressive.
Jumped on, and now Aphromoo gets away. Flash out to make sure that he stays alive.
Such a good flash from Aphro, because Contractz just flashed on Poppy. If you don't answer that flash with Leona, that charge takes you into the wall.
Yep.
So good flash from Aphro. He redirects it and makes the charge from Poppy, instead of stunning him into the wall, take him into the turret, and they just back out. So flash for flash trade, pretty much even there. Well done by Aphro to evade the gank.
And I like seeing this violence around the bottom lane, man, because both these AD carries, incredible AoE teamfight potential as this game goes on. Twitch and Sivir can both delete the entirety of the enemy team if they're allowed to free fire.
Yeah, exactly. The only difference is the timeline on when they get to start deleting people. Sivir, definitely big on crit scaling. Twitch on just Blade of the Ruin King is when I get excited.
Oh, yeah.
See that little rat running around the map. Hiding and looking for those ambush plays. Contractz, though, back up to the top side here. Philip down to 50%.
Okay, so they got a nice HP advantage in the lane state. Josedeodo clearing out those Krugs, though, and considering this turret, it'll be able to protect anything. CLG knows there's not a dive to be had here with Jose sitting right there, so they're going to back away as toucouille gets aggro on Palafox here in the mid lane. Sleepy Trouble Bubble. Paddlestar follows it up. Easy 1-2 punch there.
The Zoe headlock puts you to sleep.
The sleeper hold.
I just imagined Zoe sleeper hold instead of the Sleepy Trouble bubble. Maybe we'll have to work out some different animations, different skin for that. Meanwhile, bottom lane.
I don't know if Zoe could make it in the WWE, dude.
Yeah. The smallest sleeper hold ever. Palafox, though, level 6 now acquired as well for the Azir, has the self-peel. Both of them.
Going in. Shuffle toucouille backwards. Contractz coming in looking to make this one happen before Josedeodo is able to turn it around, but Palafox is in danger. Home run, baby. Baseball back to the dome. First blood for Jose.
Jose gets the kill. It's not a defensive Azir ult. They go for the offensive one. Can't get him. Jose going to chase Contractz out of his own jungle now, too.
Yeah, Poppy ain't winning that 1v1. Jose doesn't even care about the chickens. He just wants to beat Poppy upside the head with that bat.
All right, he cares a little bit about the chickens. That's the residual prize here. Let's see about the beatdown. Lollipop versus baseball bat.
Smite is up for Trundle, but not for Poppy, so this is easy secure there for Jose. Gets that one. Meanwhile, back in bottom lane, 2v2. Poome at under half HP, but Johnsun's the one taking the brunt of the damage from CLG's hit back.
All right, FlyQuest out to a little bit of a cushy lead here. Contractz running through the ward He knows Aphro has no flash, but the distance is enough there. Good job from Aphro, again evading the gank.
Just too much, and meanwhile, Jose was able to capture that bottom side Scuttle Crab there, so he'll pick that one up for their squad. Currently ahead, has the 1 kill in the game, as well as more farm than his opponents, so nice early game jungling state here for Jose. He moves forward. There is flash available on both bottom laners for the side of CLG, so this gank, at most, just looking to grab those sums.
Disappearing championship trophy there for a second. Jose makes a little bit of a visit.
Toucouille's doing a really good job hitting these Sleepy Trouble balls on Palafox in lane. I feel like every time we pan towards mid lane, we're just seeing another Sleepy Azir.
Yeah, nice stuff from him so far. And since they both had Dark Seals, Toucouille got the assist on this takedown right here. He's got 1 stack on his Dark Seal. So close there from Contractz, trying to get that Poppy shove into the Azir wall.
Yeah.
That actually probably would have been the difference in burst damage if Toucouille was a little bit closer on that wall, and they were actually able to get that stun proc. But swing and a miss there for CLG, and Jose was there to punish, so rightfully so, Toucouille and Jose at the top of our FTX total gold graph.
Nice bit of vision from the control ward there of FlyQuest in the top side jungle of CLG that's going to see Contractz walking through there, heading towards the top river.
Yep, and we have the earlier recall. You can look at the map. That's about 15 to 20 seconds earlier recall from the CLG bottom lane. So they guarantee this Rift Tailed. Yep. Meanwhile, coming from base right now, the Leona and Sivir should be able to just route back down to the bottom side. So nicely picked up here. Good little timing window from CLG. That's what you get from bottom lane priority, Captain Flowers. You get to push the wave first. You get to guarantee your jungler eyeball time.
Got that Herald. FlyQuest might have knew about it, but they couldn't have done a thing. And now Luger. Oh, no, buddy. Oh, no. Johnsun just picks that one up. Easy peasy.
All right, all these plays CLG are trying to make around Toucouille. He just lands the Sleepy Trouble Bubble, and they get another kill for FlyQuest. This time, the price is going to be a counter jungle. Philip, though, he's going to be the recipient of a dive.
Oh, Contractz coming in. A nice riposte from Philip. Can he outplay this any further? No. Snip, snip, and he is cut down. CLG finally on the board.
All right, they deny a couple of the minions, but Toucouille actually teleports in to get the majority of that wave that will push up to the tower. Meanwhile, Poome dodges out on the Zenith Blade here from Aphromoo, and the sneaky Twitch is coming back.
Okay, Poome at about 200 HP, though. Remember this Lulu, no ulti, still only level 5. As Josedeodo is down here. That's going to zone away, take some plates.
This level 6 Leona ultimate advantage here is a bit scary, but they don't want to go for the dive, don't want to risk it.
Right.
Send Jose right back out to the river, just grab Scuttle Crab first and possibly prep for some dragon attention. CLG going to check that dragon just to make sure.
All right, let's take another look at how Luger got caught here. He thought he was being sneaky, but it didn't work out so well.
I think the main thing here to me is zooming out and looking at what the entire map looked like leading up to this. This was off of both bottom lanes recalling, and CLG had not seen where Johnsun and Aphro went after their recall the entire time they're taking the Rift Railed. So that was a bit aggressive, and they got kind of lazy in tracking their opponents there, thinking, oh, you know, we haven't seen them in a while, maybe they don't exist anymore. It's object permanence, Flowers. It's one of those first things that you learn. Even if you don't see it, it still exists. And the Johnsun Aphromoo double roam. Good job from them staying in Fog of War. You know, you never want to reveal your position if it's not necessary, and they were able to back up Toucouille with the bubble.
And now FlyQuest looking at the Drake. They want to grab this one for themselves. No really early priority placed on this from either side, despite the fact that the Drakes have been buffed on 12.14. So it looks like Jose is going to try to take a bite out of this one. You can see FlyQuest rotating over both Johnsun and Toucouille to guarantee that it happens. With nobody from CLG rotating over anytime soon, it looks like this is just going to be a free pickup for the side of FlyQuest. As, no contest on that. Philip's got Aphromoo behind him up here in the top side, trying to trade into Dhokla a little bit, but he can just back off real easily.
I wonder if Poppy's going to get here for a counter on this support roam, because Contractz is just out to the top side. Aphromoo, he makes the attempt, you know, trailing there to see if there was going to be a dive or Dhokla got super aggressive. Because Dhokla does not expose himself, though, no possibility of the counter gank. And this Gwen on top side still in control of the minion wave.
One of the nice parts about Johnsun being on Sivir, not only does it have that powerful late game carry potential, but it's pretty easy for him to clear away a lot of these waves while Aphro roams around and looks to make plays. Yes, he's going to have to concede some farm, but he can still stay in pretty solid shape down here, especially against a Twitch Lulu that doesn't have any way to hard engage on him underneath that turret.
Yeah. All right, I think next big window we'll see in this game is Luger's next recall for the Blade of the Ruined King. And if he decides to go for an aggressive Twitch play. You know, there's two kinds of Twitches, Flowers. The ones that go back to lane.
My Twitch and their Twitch.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the ones that go back to lane and push the minions, and the ones that go hunting for those plays. CLG, I feel like they are the type to go hunting. Contractz up to the top side, gonna further feed this Gwen. I do like this. Trying to put more money into Dhokla has been successful for CLG in the past. Jose is here, though.
Jose is ready to go. Trundle versus Poppy. Trundle's going to win that 1v1 pretty much every time, so Contractz walks away from it. Meanwhile, FlyQuest putting more bodies here in the top side river. Jose gets the scuttle crab there. As Palafox moves in, he finds a double shuffle. They just found themselves some money. Josedeodo trying to survive here as Aphromoo flashes over the wall. FlyQuest survives, seeing what they can maybe find in retaliation here. CLG went for the play, but not quite enough damage to get either target.
And the big thing, Flowers, though, even though they don't kill Aphromoo there, they don't have the burst damage. Well, toucouille on Dhokla, dodge here on the bubble should mean he's fine. The big thing is, look at that mini-map. That mini-map means Twitch gets free turret plates on bottom side.
Oh, baby.
Working away. Look at all this money Luger just got off of that top side play there. CLG
that's Bork money. He's got that Blade of the Ruined King.
It's Borkin time, baby. CLG, they go for the 3 versus 4 outnumbered play. They fail to burst down Aphro just because of that stopwatch. Good stopwatch from Aphromoo, but it does mean CLG working their way back into this, and they're back up now plus 550 gold.
There's actually something kind of like cathartic about seeing Gwen use her 200 years power to defeat Zoe's 200 years power and immune to bubble. That was nice. I enjoyed that.
Counterplay is something that is essential to design.
The FTX total gold on the left side of your screen. It's Luger dominating the tables here. Has the completed Blade of the Ruined King. Has the completed tier 2 boots. Twitch is in a good spot to have a solid impact here.
Looking
if
for
we get
Zoe.
to see a fight, let's see. All right, Luger's going to find toucouille up here.
Flash.
Forces out the flash.
Whoa!
Underneath the turret, but toucouille's stopwatch will be the only thing that prevents the death there.
I can see it now on the CLG subreddit. Delete stopwatch now! These stopwatches are just blocking CLG play after CLG play. Another survival here off of stopwatch for FlyQuest.
Alrighty, FlyQuest and CLG having a nice back and forth here in the early game. Nobody getting too far ahead. CLG with a very modest gold lead right now. 90 seconds until our next Drake spawns. Hextech Drake means we're not going to get that as the soul, but it's a very powerful individual Drake on its own now. 9 attack speed, 9 ability haste.
Yeah.
As Palafox going towards Johnsun here in the mid lane, but now he's got to be careful. Johnsun may be able to look to turn this one around. Aphromoo on the side, keeping Contractz away. Johnsun doesn't have the health or mana to continue making this fight go further, as CLG will back away too.
Aggressive posturing there from Palafox, and good kind of blocking from Contractz. The bodyguard here in front ejects Josedeodo, allows Palafox to walk out instead of having to use a flash or something there on the Azir. Takes a decent chunk of damage, but Luger and Poome just going to take over control of the mid wave. They'll push it out for him as he goes back to base.
Jose walking up, seeing if there's anything. Nope, just going to be able to zone him away from this wave so toucouille can clear it out. Goes for the trouble bubble there with the extra flash that he had, but doesn't result in a whole lot of anything. Meanwhile, down here in bottom lane, the Fiora versus Gwen matchup, still honestly pretty even between these two.
Yeah, Philip got to the break point he's looking for. Divine Sunder, finally. You get that Sheen proc. So we were talking earlier about the combat pattern of Grass versus Conqueror. Yep. Now that he's got a Sheen item as well with the Divine Sunder finished.
Just plays into it that much more, right?
Exactly. Those quick trades, just trying to go in. You see the vital point towards you, you go in. Q, easy decision tree there.
Yep, Gwen wants to stack Conqueror, stack Riftmaker. Your job is to prevent the stack attack, make it as fast and clean as possible.
I like that.
Don't want anything to do with that, as the Rift Herald goes over to the side of FlyQuest here for its second spawn.
And these
it's immediately dropped.
Yeah, these secondary ones, they are definitely powerful now. I think the priority should go up on these on 12, 14. because like you can see here, with 4 people, they basically guarantee a tower kill.
Yeah.
They also give you 200 extra gold when you take it, so nicely done here from FlyQuest, and they're looking for a bit more.
They want to make sure they get this second charge. Remember, those tier 2 turrets do not regenerate, so that's 2/3 of the HP guaranteed right there.
Yeah, and they force the flash out of the Poppy as well. Plus, Philip getting the trade on bottom side. It is going to be traded for the top side tower. Azir there, you see Palafox also getting solo gold in the split. Does mean that they're also going to probably give up territory on this dragon, though. Palafox has no teleport, so it'd be difficult for CLG to fish for their play. Actually, the double recalls, both solo laners from FlyQuest missing the timer here. So Dhokla sweeps in. CLG keeping at least here, 5,000 health on the dragon. Contractz coming over. Jose's watching, though.
Jose is still keeping an eye on it. Steps forward, sees about 3,000 HP. CLG would rather not have a smite fight, so they'll just eat the Trundle away. Easy secure.
Ejected from the club.
Thrown out by the bounce.
The Dragon Club. Game of Thrones club there. Palafox going to clean up the rest of the minions towards mid as well and continue to eat up on this Azir. So Twitch and Azir, as well as Gwen, all very, very strong scaling threats here. As the map opens up and these towers go down, a lot more room to work with in looking for some of these picks, though. So I want to see if either of these AD carries, honestly, can find themselves a pick. Either Sivir boosting up Aphromoo with the Sivir ultimate for speed and then Leona ult, or the Twitch surprise ambush.
Right.
Hoping for some big ones.
Pop out somewhere where he's not expected. Down here in bottom lane, it just remains the 1v1 for now, but you can see Luger and Poome coming up. They want to try to force down this turret, just strong arm this. They've got about half a wave left here. Philip cannot stick around and try to defend it. He issues the grand challenge onto Luger, but CLG don't really care about
Challenge
that.
denied.
Challenge, no thanks. We're going to refuse that one and just take the turret.
Just got hit in the face with the glove, and it's like, no, all right, I'm not falling for that. CLG do push down the tower, though. Let's see about the top side of the map is getting answered as Contractz rotates over. Hovering up there around the Zoe, but now they caught sight of Jose, so they give up a bit of that priority. Teleport there. Can they catch? Toucouille's flash is back up, though, so he actually doesn't feel scared at all.
Yeah, CLG is just turning back towards Jose and Johnsun. Now Aphromoo rotating up here as well. Jose going in. He's going to start jigging the Poppy immediately, and the fight breaks out. Contractz walking away. Dhokla here on the front line, but Gwen is immune for the time being. Trying to get the snip on the multiple targets. Dhokla trying to get himself out of the fight now as FlyQuest takes a lot of damage into a lot of health bars, and Luger is grabbing himself the first kill. Philip now trying to stand and fight in the middle of a 1v3. Riposte is down, but he's in Toucouille's health. They'll make it a 1-for-1 as they lose Contractz for Philip. 2 dead on the side of FlyQuest, 1 on CLG, and CLG are looking to find some more. Poome goes in for the slow, and Palafox has the follow-up. Luger with a little bit of poison over the wall, won't be able to find enough damage to grab anybody just yet. As Palafox looks for more, and he finds it. The Emperor picks up the 4th kill of the game, make it the 5th as well. Double kill Palafox.
FLICKR, the demon, will chase you to the ends of the earth, Flowers. Poome flashes for the Glitterland slow. Palafox keeps up the chase, and CLG are on that Baron right at 20 minutes.
You love to see it. FlyQuest now have to deal with the fact that CLG is going to grab themselves this massive objective super early on. They're really trying to stick around long enough to grab this. They know Contractz. Poome has died to the minion. Contractz shows up now. He's made his way into the pit. They secure it, but FlyQuest is coming in looking to punish. Palafox gets over the wall. Dhokla's at 100 HP. Luger's got about 350. Dhokla running into the enemy jungle. Luger running into the bushes.
It's a scramble, baby. Every man for themselves. Dhokla's going into the tower, and Luger is going to the fountain.
Okay, double kill back for toucouille. So it was not a clean Baron for CLG. Losing their jungler was one of the issues. Let's listen in on the comms for the replay.
Only Zoe. Oh, she's dead. Don't take this time. You guys can wait for me to be in range too. Maybe get vision here. Any blue? Blue. Wait for me.
Okay, we need someone to tank then. I'm gonna die.
I'm almost here. Maybe?
Oh,
it's like
bad.
I'm going. No, stay.
Luger tank. I'll die for it. Okay, get out. Fast. TP.
I'm out. Run.
I'm fine.
Yeah, just try to get out.
Yeah.
Yeah, try and get out.
Fast.
Run. I really like the resigned Dhokla. I'll die for it.
Hey, somebody's got to, man, all right?
No problem.
Somebody's got to play that role.
And he did indeed die for it. So FlyQuest end up picking up 3 kills for the payment of the Baron. That's why we only have a plus 500 gold so far on this Baron power play for CLG. We'll see if they're able to push out. Probably have enough juice to be able to take down at least this mid-outer tower.
Yep.
But FlyQuest, off of that gold from the kills, looking for more.
Josedeodo going in, taking a chomp out of Contractz, but he's not too worried about it. CLG have 25 seconds until the Drake spawns. They have a minute and a half left on their Baron. Palafox going to find some damage over the wall there onto Jose as Philip is pushing out the bottom lane. Dhokla doing the same on top side.
Yeah, interesting. We've got only 13 seconds left on this dragon, and Dhokla does not have teleport. So FlyQuest with a 5v4.
Oh, let's see where it goes, though. Philip's already coming in on the side. Luger is under pressure, and Poome is already down. Contractz wants to get away, but they're still chasing. Toucouille jumps over the wall, but he has to jump right back. CLG are scared off, and FlyQuest win a fight that earns them a Drake.
Good flank there from Philip. FlyQuest utilizing their 5v4 advantage to get the kill plus the dragon. It does cost them a turret for split pushing Dhokla there, and Palafox trying to sneak in and get the mid turret as well.
Alrighty, looks like that turret is gonna fall in mid. Luger was hanging around the area but does not want to risk anything. Second Drake for the side of FlyQuest. Third Drake overall here in the game, score 2-1.
This is a tight one, Flowers. FlyQuest there getting the extra kill, getting the dragon up to number 2, but CLG taking down 2 turrets, although I think Palafox had to run away so quickly, did not get local gold for the mid tower. We didn't have the camera exactly on it, but that is a decent little chunk there as well. Let's see about getting right back out. This is now 2 item power spikes for both AD carries.
Yeah.
Little bit of extra lead there for Johnsun with the pickaxe lead. So Sivir really starting to scale now. And once he can upgrade that and fully build out the Infinity Edge, then FlyQuest will have their AoE damage for these team fights.
And there's one tanky target on the side of CLG, and that is Poppy. That is Contractz, right? And that is the dream scenario for Trundle, because your job's already done for you. You already know who you need to ult every single fight and what the best way to play that is. Yeah. Trundle loves a composition with one strong enemy tank because it can beef up his own stats so well. As Dhokla and Philip gonna find one another here in the jungle, and Big Dokes is ready to take it to the FlyQuest top laner, who immediately has to retreat.
This is interesting too, because CLG were spread, so CLG are pushing both lanes right now. The minions on top, Palafox on bottom. They're playing the map while Dhokla gets a health advantage in the 1v1, allowing them an extra 30 seconds to work with. Every minion wave, an extra 30 seconds to move on the map. Gives you that pseudo vision of the minions moving up themselves. And just gives you the option for another turn. Contractz trying to watch for Palafox, but he's caught.
Contractz getting caught by Jose. He finds the ulti knockup and is able to get himself out with that steadfast presence movement speed bonus. But while FlyQuest put all these players on the bottom side, Dhokla's pushing top.
And that right there is just so clear why pro players take phase rush all the time on so many of these melee junglers.
Yup.
Because phase rush allows you in opportunities like that to get out, actually escape with your life, rather than always looking for the offensive.
Yeah, it's the difference in, a rune like Conqueror. If you're already an extended duelist, it just makes you better at the job you already do, whereas Phase Rush enables things that are otherwise not possible. Just a bit of a difference in philosophy for what you want to get out of your keystone slot there. But hey, this time around, it keeps the little Yordle alive, and that's what matters for CLG.
I think we will see probably this game hinging on if the Zoe bubbles hits. I mean, FlyQuest do have good follow-up. They've got a Leona long-range ultimate, so if toucouille can find some Zoe bubbles here onto CLG and look for the pick for themselves, they'll have a really good chance of playing off a numbers advantage. But if they are unable to find those, Palafox is so strong on the Azir now. He's almost level 16. He's got 7 stacks Dark Seal. He could actually upgrade that into a Medjai's and have it be worth it at the moment with the safety of a Banshee's Veil himself. That Azir is definitely not to be trifled with. Another flank coming here from Philip, though. FlyQuest looking for another 4v5 start.
Well, CLG is ready to start the fight themselves. Contract's going to go to sleep there from the bubble. It's not a target they really want to go after. Josedeodo already using the subjugate. So they're just sort of waiting on that to wear off for the side of CLG. They're backing away now. FlyQuest staying together here in the mid lane, but Philip going back bottom to answer Dhokla. Remember when they 1v1 there in the jungle, it was Dhokla winning that handedly.
Yep, and that was another one of those 36-second windows we talk about. Philip pushed up the minion wave on bottom. So he gets a chance to go look for a play, hovers for the flank on mid. And as you said, even though the bubble hits, it's on the least likely target for FlyQuest to dive in on. And Contractz heals right back up off that crab.
Especially because you look at Zoe's build. It's Sorcerer's Shoes, Shadow Flame, Ludens. That's an incredible amount of flat spell penetration, which is great if your opponent has a lower overall value. Not so great against a tank. Kind of need Void Staff there. So, you know, Poppy sitting on top of her natural tankiness from the W, on top of the Turbo Kim tank, on top of the Negatron Cloak. Those Paddle Stars aren't much of a pattern.
Well, we get another chance here. 50 seconds on the arrival of Ocean Dragon. Would be number 3 for FlyQuest. Jose gets jumped on a little bit. Just some chip damage here.
Not too worried about it. That Drake, though, I'm sure both teams are going to have sights on that one, as Aphromoo is right there in front. Luger pops out, shoots him a couple of times, not a big deal. Jose at 1/3 HP and just barely still doesn't have his ulti ready to go. He cannot participate in a fight other than throwing out a pillar right now, as they summon up an Azir turret here in mid to have a little bit of a forward operating base.
And I do have to say, the support item activations are pretty decent here. The battle song attempt there from Lulu, you usually try and you know, Whimsy, speed him up, plus battle song, look for the pick. If you go into the fight right after that and you don't get your pick, the locket activation is such a big team fight turner advantage there. So FlyQuest, that extra shield could mean a lot. Not going to be the case, though. CLG just pick up the dragon with Dhokla soloing it, no problem. The rest of CLG just back off.
Well, they want to, but the Trundle Pillar's looking to stop that right now. They interrupt the channel on the ulti, and now Contractz could be in trouble. He goes to sleep, and he takes a dirt nap. Johnsun grabs a killing spree, and FlyQuest are 5v4 on the map now for the next 35 seconds, and that's the enemy jungler who died. FlyQuest moving up now to pressure the Baron as they see CLG has taken the Drake.
Yeah, at the very least, FlyQuest will be able to clear out all this vision. CLG can poke around here and try to stop them. There is a Scryer's Bloom plant right here for the vision, guaranteed. FlyQuest probably should have popped that one themselves. Here comes CLG.
All right, FlyQuest is in the pit. Josedeodo's at 1/3 HP. Jose's got to be careful here. Dhokla coming in. Jose under fire as it looks like they're going to lose Aphromoo potentially too. It's Jose gone first, and CLG's looking to strike. Aphro dies second as Philip wants to fight back, and Dhokla barely stays alive. Luger's coming in from the side. Rat-a-tat-tat, fire the gat. Luger's ready to go, and he's found the shutdown on Johnsun. Toucouille heads for the hills, but those hills have eyes, and the eyes see you. That is it. Double kill plus the ace for CLG.
Every member of FlyQuest put in the dirt. Luger starts it out on the top side while Dhokla goes for the engage with Palafox backing him up on the left side, and CLG will get the Baron again.
Let's look into another comms replay, see how it went down.
They have double smite, guys. They have double smite. We actually need to...
I look down the poke. I look kind of
Okay, I can look here.
Yeah. Slow.
Yeah.
Turn on the flash.
No flash. Leona's one in the pit. Trundle's dead.
Trundle dead.
Leona 1 HP.
Leona flash.
Yeah. Leona's dead. I'm looking.
Fiora.
I'm hitting Sivir. We win. Yeah.
Zoe has 1 flash.
Okay.
You
guys just try.
I will chase.
Do whatever you need to do. Yeah. I believe. Sivir.
I believe. The faith is there. CLG with Baron number 2 picked up. And we are well on our way towards the infinity edge of the Twitch now as well. Sivir with the 3-item power spike, but we're almost to 4 here for Luger after that one. He picked up so many kills. He finishes the Hurricane and gets the BF sword here for his infinity edge. That Twitch is rich.
This is a scary place to be for FlyQuest, down 5,000 gold against an Azir and a Twitch. They're each on 3.5 items. The Poppy's plenty tanky enough in the front line. Gwen is winning in the side lane 1v1. What's the call? What do you do in this situation, my friend?
You got to look for a big pick, Flowers. Try and find them separated. CLG together are too strong. And so they're doing just that from the side of FlyQuest. Split push here for Fiora, trying to just split the map. The rest of the team's just going to buy as much time as they can. Sivir attempting wave clear. It's very difficult into the Baron, though, because Baron reduces that AoE so much. Palafox goes for the big sweep.
Oh, Palafox doesn't want to let him play a slow game, but Palafox is already dead. But he's going to be traded away for 2 as Jose and Aphromoo both fall. Contractz yeets him back on out of there. They're going to be able to take the tier 2, but Philip is winning the race. He's inside the base of CLG, cracking through the top lane inhibitor.
CLG, though, they're going to get 2 inhibitor turrets down. see if they stick around for the actual inhibitors themselves. Dhokla recalling with the Baron empowered recall. He'll get back in time to at least chase Philip out of the base off the Nexus turrets. It is 2 inhibitor turrets almost taken. The bottom one still a little bit of life left there. So CLG, yeah, they get an inhibitor turret in mid, but no inhibitor itself, and FlyQuest get the actual inhibitor kill there for Philip. Pretty big stuff for the counter punch from FlyQuest.
Honestly, considering the state of the game and all that stuff that I was talking about that CLG was sitting on that made him so scary, it couldn't have gone much better for FlyQuest there, I don't think.
Yeah, nice commitment to the split push there. Philip with the hull breaker, Fiora takes out that inhibitor very quickly. CLG, they did a lot of damage to the bottom inhibitor turret as well, but those things will regenerate up to 33%, the closest 33% that they are getting to. So 1/3 of the HP of that bottom inhibitor tower will remain. And of course, they don't get any super minions themselves. So big dokes up here. Pushing into the super minions, not a really big problem though. Oftentimes, especially late game here, if one inhibitor is down, it's fairly easy to defend and clear out if you're the team that has the gold lead. Because you've got the items to easily push on it, and you can kind of counteract that extra pressure.
CLG pushing up with 4 here in mid lane. They got Dhokla up in top side. They know that Philip is afraid of him in that 1v1. If Philip's just got to push against an empty lane, take out some turrets, take out some minions, yeah, he's fine. Dhokla's an entirely different story. 20 seconds on our next Drake, and both teams are tied 2-2 in that count. With CLG's current control over the map, I fully expect them to just take that Drake as a consequence of that, but FlyQuest are moving up.
Yeah, and CLG are being more safe about this one. They actually pull Dhokla down from the top lane. They let Philip push that wave out one more time, that super minion wave, in order to get better positioning for the dragon.
Oh, Luger just unloading onto Josedeodo, and Contractz slams him into the wall. He stays alive a moment longer, but Luger's got the damage, but CLG went really far in. Are they too far up? Dhokla's gonna be low, but he stays alive in the stasis, and Palafox sweeps in to clean up. Poome still right behind his carry, looking to make this happen. Yes, they lose Contractz, yes, they lose Luger, but they take 3, and CLG are looking for more.
Palafox Azir ults Philip off of Dhokla's body there, just as he's about to go down. Palafox, this Azir, the Emperor is commanding them off of the inhibitor. They take it down, and CLG now heading towards that dragon as well. Toucouille is on the way. He does not have a smite with his spellbook right now. Ghost and teleport the 2 summoners.
All right, Palafox moving in. He'll be able to shred through this Drake incredibly quickly. Let's take another look at how the fight went down with Jose nearly dying at the very start here.
Yeah, he opens up on Luger, and Luger just returns the favor, all the damage through, but the huge stun turn around there as Aphromoo re-engages on CLG members that were chasing in the base. And then here, Dhokla survives with under 100 HP as Palafox sweeps Philip off of his stopwatch body to save his teammate. And wow, Dragon number 3 picked up there for CLG. 4.5 minutes left on the arrival of the Soul, the possible Soul Dragon. Objective bounties have popped up for FlyQuest. But as we said, that downed inhibitor on top lane for CLG has been managed very easily, very well. Those super minions have not gotten into the base to lay any further destruction. They continually send Dhokla up there. He's extremely rich, feeding up off of those. And then the Twitch and Azir late game. Oh, Contractz though?
Contractz getting chased after here, but I think FlyQuest may have bit off a little more than they can chew. Josedeodo does not want to go in any further against that.
Sivir ult. They do not have that Sivir ult move speed to help them reposition now for side of FlyQuest, and Dhokla is pushing in on top lane. Dhokla will be at that turret fairly soon here as the rest of CLG push FlyQuest off the defense.
And Luger is 5 items plus a stopwatch. This Twitch is ready to go, ready to team fight, ready to commit to the DPS, knowing he'll be able to keep himself safe with that aggro drop. Dhokla going all the way in here. Poppy, disengage, throw him away, keep him off of that tier 3 turret. Johnsun trying to get back and stay alive. Luger barely kept around by the power of the wild growth, but how long is it gonna last? Not long enough. toucouille gets the kill, and CLG have lost their marksman. Contractz tries to continue falling back with the rest of the squad. Palafox is the damage, and Dhokla's at 40%. Philip's coming in from the side. He wants to keep this one going, and Contractz is going to be focused down. Philip gets himself back, but Gwen is immune. They still keep running, but FlyQuest keeps chasing. CLG needs to keep disengaging this. Josedeodo's still coming. Looks like we might have an attempted recall here. Palafox gonna get caught out. Aphromoo goes in and he finds the stun. TP going out from Dhokla. There's another death. Palafox goes on a killing spree as he dies, but now Poome is trying to escape from Philip, and there's no way out. Nice fight coming out from FlyQuest, but Dhokla's in the enemy base.
Dhokla went to the base to try and take down some inhibitors, but FlyQuest are going to get the Baron Flowers. That is an objective bounty. 500 base. Extra gold on the neutral objectives increased by the amount that they are behind. FlyQuest with the comeback kills inside of the base. They chase down CLG, and their reward will be the Baron.
Catching Luger like that was so big for FlyQuest. They were behind such a high amount. They needed to catch one of these valuable carries, and here's the Roccat flip the switch on how they did it.
So bottom of your screen, you see Luger, but guess who's behind him? Aphromoo. Big chunk from toucouille onto the Luger, and so Aphromoo says he's going all in for it. toucouille burns him down, and then the chase for FlyQuest. After taking down the Twitch, the heart of the CLG team fight there, they poke him, continually harrying them with these long skill shots. toucouille from the outside. Philip goes in with the riposte to buy some time, while the rest of the members finish up Contractz, and then it's a scramble this time from CLG to try and teleport out of there. As you know, both solo laners tried to use their teleports. Palafox got interrupted by the Trundle pillar. Meanwhile, Dhokla did escape, but mid inhibitor is the only damage CLG were able to get done. Meanwhile, FlyQuest with the Baron buff trying to push in.
Philip getting jumped on by Contractz and Palafox together. If they can take Philip out here, that's going to relieve a lot of the pressure that FlyQuest has earned for themselves. Riposte is not enough, and CLG have taken out the enemy top laner. They got a 5v4 on the map for the next 60 seconds. So as FlyQuest try to crash the wave mid, but they know they're down a man, and they back away.
Yeah, that's a good pick there for CLG. They put a stop to that Baron push from FlyQuest. No further gains for FlyQuest. 2,000 gold, currently the bonus from that Baron power play. Map has gone very dark, though, because we've been just running base to base. When you're spending so much time running towards the push.
PvP means no time for vision.
Exactly. And now we've got the Dragon. 45-ish seconds left on that one, so a couple more minion waves to push here. toucouille fishing again with this Zoe, level 18. That poke is FlyQuest's opportunity. You see the burst damage.
Yep, just the bubble takes off about a third of Poome's health, so a Battlestar follow-up is lights out. Josedeodo stepping forward. CLG staying grouped up. They've summoned the Azir turret on the ruins of the FlyQuest Tier 1. FlyQuest has...
They can run straight for the inhibitors, though. CLG actually don't care about the Dragon. They can just run straight for the inhibitors.
Okay, but FlyQuest has Philip back on the map, so it will be 5v5. The Azir turret still zoning FlyQuest away for now. CLG just in the base.
You don't need minions to take down inhibitors because there's no backdoor bonus for just inhibitors, so they can just slip in. They get the middle one.
And now they're walking up top, but they realize they don't have the time to take the inhib out itself. They're staying grouped. Josedeodo at half HP. CLG are hungry for a fight here.
W down,
Luger still creeping around, still invisible. Philip issuing the grand challenge onto Dhokla, but he's got to be careful. Riposte now going to find Contractz, who has to get away too. Palafox, the Banshee's Veil keeps him safe from the Zenith Blade. CLG really testing the waters here, not afraid to scrap, but FlyQuest meeting them and stopping the push.
Can they actually circle back around, cancel the recall here, make a run for the inhibitor? FlyQuest trying to go for the Dragon again. CLG can run for this inhibitor. This will be number 2 top inhibitor. Luger's going to blow that sucker up.
CLG is saying we know FlyQuest is going to go for the Drake. We will trade it away for the inhib top, and CLG get what they came for, but what is the cost? Sleepy Trouble Bubble on Poome. Okay, no follow-up. CLG is able to escort him out of there. Drakes are tied 3-3, 40 minutes into the game, 33 kills on the board.
FlyQuest kind of throwing down the gauntlet here and saying, fine. All right, if you take 2 inhibitors, we can still defend. We've got a Sivir to mow down these minion waves. The real breakpoint here is CLG. Can they reset and push down the final inhibitor? Oh, they're going to go for the pick instead. Philip's got to run.
Philip honestly doesn't even take that much damage. He's not too scared of it. Sleepy Trouble Bubble comes out, but Dhokla does not get hit by that one. Aphromoo here, but they won't be able to move in time for a true pincer attack. FlyQuest control over the topside river, but there's no Baron for 2 minutes. There's no Drake for 4 minutes. There's no real neutral objectives to fight over at all right now.
Exactly. That was the calculation of FlyQuest saying, okay, we will be able to defend the next couple of minutes of these super minions being down. The real pressure does come when you get all 3. That's when every lane spawns multiple super minions and they all buff each other up. Getting 3 down is overwhelming pressure, but until then, FlyQuest with a lot of wave clear, honestly. This is full item Sivir almost. The last Zeal needing to be upgraded there. But that AoE is no joke. So as long as FlyQuest try and stay in their base, they've got hopes for clearing it out, hopes for defending. CLG, it's very clear, Flowers. There's 1 inhibitor left. You need to go bottom. You need to get this last one. If you can finish off that objective, then that is the final bit of pressure.
With this coming down to what's going to be a big, like, monumental fight, we need to take stock of all the things that can change that fight. Hourglass up for both solo laners of CLG, Guardian Angel up for Luger. There is also a Mikhail's Crucible on Poome to be able to save anybody that needs it. Over on the other side, tick, 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 tick. What's that? It's the sound of an overpowered item, Kobe. We got stopwatches all over the place here. We got Fiora and Trundle both with those. We've also got Zoe sitting on 10 stacks of the book for some extra AP. No Guardian Angel on Johnsun, though. If he gets caught and he dies, game over. Luger gets a second chance if it happens the other way around.
All right, here comes the big moment. Super minions pushing up on top side. You see Fiora's trying to deal with them now. Philip trying to get a little bit of a window for the rest of FlyQuest, CLG. Everybody pushing in. Palafox just went back to base. That better have been a big purchase. I want to see what the purchase from Azir was there. Palafox is probably full build now. There it is. He is full build. Everything done. Sonya's with the death cap. See if this is going to be the difference. Baron arriving in 17 seconds.
And with Azir and Twitch, you can just, and Gwen, you can just burn this so fast if you're CLG. You can probably kill it in 5 seconds.
Look at these possible wards here, though, from FlyQuest. They've got wards all around the back of the Baron. CLG, though, right up the front.
They're willing to fight. Contractz with a stun to the wall, and Josedeodo, he has to flash away to stay alive as Philip's looking to come in now with a TP, immediately riposting as he arrives, but now he's got to be careful because CLG are ready to punish. toucouille firing back with a little bit of artillery, but Palafox's Banshee's Veil stops it in its tracks.
Oh, the tension rising, Flowers. They send Philip back to base, but he can go to the fountain to heal. He doesn't have teleport this time around, so CLG think that's enough time to rush the Baron. 4 members of FlyQuest. Philip coming out of the base. They want to contest.
They do this so fast. 6 seconds. They started it with 18 on the clock. They finished it at 24. CLG get Baron, and the fight just breaks out. Aphromoo going to lose half HP, but so will Contractz. Wild growth to keep him alive, and now FlyQuest look for a chance to re-engage. Josedeodo leads the charge, but Aphromoo immediately killed. CLG have lost Palafox, and Dhokla stuck in a stasis. They continue trying to run, but they've lost both solo laners together now, and FlyQuest get a punish again.
There are super minions that will destroy these Nexus turrets, though. That requires attention. 2 super minions isolated on that top Nexus turret will take it. This requires the recalls for FlyQuest. Flowers. We got another Baron, but FlyQuest will return to defend.
All right, let's take another look at another comms replay in this crazy game.
Pop in a flash. I think we got ult in 6, ult in 6. Keep going. Azir no flash. I chase. I have a stopwatch. Keep going. Yeah. Azir no flash, guys. You guys win. Twitch. I pillar here. Chase. Pop in a flash, do it. Lulu no flash. Wait.
The 1-for-2 there. FlyQuest getting the extra kill. Taking down Azir. Sivir, though, doing most of the work. Bouncing through the entire CLG team, and here comes the Dragon Soul.
Oh, baby, no matter what, it is Soul time. Let's see who's able to claim it. CLG, they've got the Azir, they've got the Twitch, but man, when Sivir can put down 8,000 damage in a fight, you ain't exactly afraid, huh?
That sucker scales so hard now after that mini rework. Let's see it.
Okay, FlyQuest are going in. Philip gets thrown back over the wall. Contractz looking to disengage somebody if he can, but he's already dead. toucouille goes unstoppable, but Johnsun goes down. It's a 1-for-1. CLG killed the enemy AD carry, but they don't have a jungler.
Yep, one of these is not like the other. The Sivir is down. The team fight stronger for CLG, but they can't secure it.
Oh, but they found Palafox. He's going to be killed instantly. Aphromoo makes it look easy, but now Dhokla's looking to turn it back around. Snip into the back line as Philip tries to fight back, but he's got to run away. Josedeodo's got 10% HP, and Dhokla has blood in his eye.
Oh, Luger Luger's still up, and that rat is scary. He's gonna keep Aphro and Trundle out of the pit. That will be Dragon Soul for CLG.
House of the Dragon Soul for CLG. Despite the fact that they lose the jungle, they chat up and they take the objective.
Where's our dragon-loving fan from yesterday? That guy would be popping off. We got all the dragons in this game.
Full collection.
Full collection. CLG now with the extra sustain. My goodness, 46 minutes into this game, and the base on both sides have openings. FlyQuest have already taken down the top inhibitor. CLG taking down all the inhibitor towers from FlyQuest base. Here, let's take another look at it, though. So, Contractz, the first one to get focused down, but the whole time, Luger is using that ultimate, melts them, and gets the key kill, taking down Johnsun, taking down Sivir with the range advantage there, and burning the flash. Aphromoo, though, shows the veteranship there, goes in, they assassinate Palafox, but without a Sivir, you don't have the extra carry.
Oh boy, Philip just might die here. He's trying to stay alive. He falls. Sleepy Trouble Bubble.
Oh,
there's the sleep. It's immune by the power of the Zonias, but it's not immune long enough. One kill for one Guardian Angel.
The stopwatches, the Guardian Angels, the revives, the difference makers in this game.
This is why I wanted to track them.
From the very beginning, Flowers, the FlyQuest stopwatches make the difference. They get the extra kill in this fight, but there's no objectives. This is officially the longest game of Summer Split of the LCS already.
I knew we were going to get a good game with CLG FlyQuest. I didn't know we were going longest game of the split material.
Because these two teams are hungry to climb up the standings. There's been too long with the old guard at the top. Let's see about this, though. FlyQuest knocking at the gates.
FlyQuest, they still have a 5v4 for 15 seconds, but they ain't got no waves. You can't do much if you don't have the waves, but Philip has the wave bottom, and he'll grab the tier 2 at least. Problem is, we're getting to the point of the game, Kobe, where everybody's just full on items anyway. So, this kind of golden stuff doing a whole lot for me.
Yeah, gold doesn't matter. The inflation is through the roof. You can't even hold any more items here. Everybody approaching level 18. The supports almost even approaching. 17 for Poome, 16 for Aphromoo.
That's the true measure of how crazy this game is. Supports are nearing max level. You never see that.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, we are selling boots now as well. I saw them disappear. Johnsun actually thinks better of it, though. He undoes that sell on the boots, gets them right back, and let's get back out to another fight because, you know, late game, you get an actual team fight win, you can just run it through to the Nexus here. Bases are already exposed. They've got one more big one in them.
And you saw Luger just sell the Guardian Angel that doesn't have the cooldown ready anyway. Yep. He has Lord Dominic's Regards now for extra armor penetration, so he can gun through that Trundle there on the front line that has the Frozen Heart, has the tabbies, all this other good stuff.
Oh, he's going for a pick. Look at this Twitch. Twitch movement to the red buff. Could they go for the pick onto Philip? The Baron's not up yet. They have a little window of time.
Oh, I thought you were being facetious at first saying he was going to pick the red buff.
No, no, no. Oh. That is actual opportunity because there was no wards up through there. They could go for the little window. Now Baron is too close to spawning, so you can't commit too far down to the other side of the map. And Philip coming for the flank.
Philip's rotating up. Let's see, can FlyQuest find their moment
behind
here?
him.
Palafox still has Banshee's Veil, that's the thing. There's your Azir turret summoned up. That's something else FlyQuest always has to be aware of. Anytime you're near these turret ruins, Azir has the ability to create these little bases for himself. As, Contractz over the wall, finds a stun on Aphromoo, losing about a quarter of his health here. Trophy goes down from Trundle. FlyQuest regrouping, getting everybody back together.
All right, Philip on the bottom side. Jose takes it.
Jose on the front line still. Nobody fully committing to an engage just yet. Contractz channeling the ulti. Another trophy comes out, looking to interrupt it here a little bit. Philip goes in, riposts, and then disengages. Philip at about half. Aphromoo doing the same. CLG not significantly injured.
And look at the cooldowns. The Aphromoo Johnsun ultimates used there, as well as Philip from FlyQuest. So CLG know we've won the small battle of the cooldowns for ultimates. Only Dhokla's Gwen ultimate used there.
And Ocean Soul makes it so easy for CLG to have these small back and forth 1-2 punches and disengage. They can heal off that damage, go back and look for more. All their health, all their mana still full. FlyQuest having a little bit of damage still registering as that Azir turret falls on the ruins of Tier 1.
Minions up on top side. Those things doing a lot of damage to the inhibitor right now. CLG trying to keep FlyQuest in mid while the minions do their work. It's almost done. CLG minions working away.
Philip's going to stop it. He wants to prevent this from going down for free, but CLG's taking the chance. They're going after the bear and seeing Philip up there in the top side. Remember how fast they burn this down. FlyQuest moving up. They don't want to give it away. Philip coming in now for the TP. There's the cooldown CLG was looking for. They bring Philip back here.
They counter TP to the
Dhokla
counter TP.
Now they know FlyQuest doesn't have a way to get back in there and match him in time. Dhokla's going for the in-hit, and CLG have found the macro outplay for now. What is FlyQuest's answer as CLG disengages with a full
double TP? They're going for it!
To bring Palafox in. They want to go for the end of the game as FlyQuest are trying to get back to the base. Philip wants to survive, but Palafox wants to stop it. The Nexus turrets are gone. CLG just won the game.
The longest game of the year. CLG triumph over FlyQuest in over 51 minutes.
Longest game of the year with one of the craziest endings. The teleport bait, the Baron bait, the re-TP into the enemy base. Awesome.
CLG continued their longest win streak since 2019. Right into playoffs. They are peaking at the right time.
What a game. Give me more of this. Give me 4 more of these today.
Collecting all the dragons. So many Barons. I don't remember how many now.
3 or 4
Over
or
3
5 or something. There's a bunch. A lot of purple this game.
And those are the games I really like to watch because the late game scenarios in push and pull with inhibitors and Barons and Elder Dragons even coming to the Rift next really bring into context so much of this map movement.
It's also the part of the game that's least practiced, right? Because it's the part of the game you play most rarely. 6 items, you're not always getting there.
And Dhokla is always willing to finish it with a split push. Always looking for that offensive teleport. The counter teleport from CLG, such great macro at the end there. They pull them out to Baron. Once they get Philip's teleport, they counter teleport into the inhibitor. Palafox doubles the teleport. They go for the end. Love to see calls like that towards the late game. The confidence there. Melt those Nexus turrets. They fall like paper in the late game there. Once you get past 50 minutes.
Azir was taking off 25% of the health every single time. Just thunk, 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 thunk.
Fun stuff.
Honestly, that was just awesome. Like CLG having the confidence and the trust in each other to go for that and finish the game there. Because when you're playing at, this 6-item, 50-minute phase of the game, one big mistake, your death timers are 70 seconds. You're going to have all the time to think about it when you're staring at that gray screen because it's tough. But CLG, they earned the dub on that one. And after the break, High's going pro-to-pro with Contractz before the next banger game between 100 Thieves and Cloud9. We'll catch you there.
Wait.
Yeah, I'm going to TP.
Yeah, TP.
Oh my god, bro. I'm TPing. Solve the base. Solve it.
We can get dash off this.
Take
sure.
Fiora will base. We can't stop. And Zoe's not showing either.
Yeah, I have TP. We went 2v2.
Okay, then come TP.
Yeah, I'm TPing.
It's 3v3 here.
Look. We need the pressure. Look, Leona. Pressure Leona. Just
kill. They're basing. Sivir's going.
Let's go base. Let's go in the base. We end.
It's GG. It's GG.
It's GG. Oh my god.
A lion! Ah, yes, the king of the jungle. Time for a Red Bull. Red Bull? Still, you'll never be faster than a lion. I don't have to be quicker than the lion, just faster than you. Red Bull gives you wings.
Yeah, that's the most I can give you.
Fine. Then it's time for the ace up my sleeve. My beloved squishy pig with
original holographic cover art.
Hey, Ash, what you selling?
Save the references, Jake from State Farm. I'm saying goodbye. This little piggy went to the game store.
You don't have to sell your favorite games. State Farm has coverage options, so you get a rate that fits your budget.
Thanks, Jake. Hands off the squish!
For surprisingly great rates that fit any budget, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or click to get a quote today.